Okay, SENSU tutorial number one, basic stuff, the way we log in. Let's go for the register port. You choose a username, whatever, you put in password, and again, everybody knows that here you put the invite code. Then you put your email inside, you send an email, you send it back. That's simple enough, you all know that. After that, you can log in. And you log in and you go to your desktop. Depends on where you are. Takes a little bit of time. So here we go. For example, this is my SENSU desktop. Let me just walk through the basic intricacies. I'm sorry, I'm in a very slow internet connection here. So here I have a folder that floats here. I can increase the size of folders. I can decrease them. It basically acts like a window, so I can do this here. Here's the title of the folder. I can adjust the design of the folder later on. This is just the design I created. And these elements here are movable depending on the view. And now let me show you how the folder works. Here we have a number of people who share a folder. That would be important later. This is called the magnify view. With this, we can do that. We can display a folder in big. It's pretty cool stuff. You see the green border means that an item is selected. We can select items and they stay selected until I deselect them. Items that are selected appear down here in the selection. Let me show you that. All these items here are selected. In order to make that clearer, see, if I click this, I get rid of the selection. Now nothing is selected. If I click on this picture, it appears down here in the selection bar. I still have a bug here that sometimes it doesn't really display it. Let me select a few items. You see now it's displayed. Sometimes you have to scroll left and right for it to display it, or adjust the size here. I don't know yet, like it's a bug. We're fixing this. So if I click somewhere outside of those items in the folder where I selected, it will be deselected. For example, I select something here, and I select something here, and now I click here, then it only deselects the folders in here. I mean the items. It does the same here. So basic thing. Folders with certain view options. We have items. It can be anything, and you can select them. Next to the selection bar, we have other tabs. These tabs I put in there. I will show you how to do that. These tabs, if I click in a folder on this here, that loads here. It adds this folder to the selection panel. It's a very useful thing because when you do that, then you have it down here and you can, for example, I don't know, like do something on the board and you can access that content and drag it out from here. You always have access to it. The other reason why the selection panel is so important is all the structure that you can build up yourself. You can move them around and you can drag folders inside. For example, here on the left side I have the library. I show that later in detail. If I take a folder from here and move it into the selection panel, it appears down here. And now this folder is also down here. So that will be very important later when I show you the browser extension. The browser extension is basically, let's type in something here in Google. And the browser extension is here. You can install the SENSU Clipper. If I click on this, as you can see down there, something appears. You see this? So this is basically SENSU. I can log in here with my username. For example, in this case it was Zeus5 and the password is a secret. So I log in and now, as you will see, this here, what I have down here, like the whole thing in its structure with exactly the same folders is now replicated here. Just takes a while. If you're in Europe, be patient. We go over island. In Japan it's freaking fast, but that's not a problem, because we can mitigate that. It's just about switching the servers on, basically. It's over region scaling. So now that I have here the same folders, I can show you something. I can increase the size here. I can now take things anywhere from the internet and drag them in here. For example, I drag a photo in here, and it goes into my selection bar, into this folder that I selected. Obviously this folder, what I just put in here, you can see this is the picture. It actually doesn't grab the normal picture, what you see here. It grabs the picture behind it, the whole thing. In this case it would be the 1400 times 540. I can show you that when I increase the size here, it automatically scales the whole thing. In my browser, it takes a while for it to build up. Now look at this picture. You got it in full resolution. I can collapse this. I click here, you see the small arrow. This is all less from ideal, you know, it's a prototype, right? But if I click here, and I can switch between the tabs that I have, and they replicate all the folders that I have placed here. I can also get rid of them. For example, this Michelin star restaurant folder here, if I click on the X, it disappears, and it will then also disappear in SENSU. This is my SENSU desktop, which can run in a different tab, or it can also be closed. So just to show you again, here I have this folder. For example, I take these 4 items, or these, let's take these items and put it down here into this folder, or here. And now I go to here, in downhill, and we can see the item here. Like I said, it takes a while because I'm not in Japan. In Japan it would be instantaneous, but here we are. Here's the item that I just tried. Well, it should be here. Go for it. Come on, come on. You can do it. Here it is. Yes. Like, okay, very important. There's a delay in the sync. The delay from the sync comes from us right now. We route it over island, back to Japan and back and forth. Normally when we have the complete over-region scaling in place, we always have a local server, so we just as fast as in Japan. In Japan it's instantaneous, but it's not instantaneous right now. It's a technical thing that also has to do with how much we pay for the service, so it's an alpha. So we're all in a laboratory here. Means we gotta work with what we got, basically, for now. So the cool part is, for example, here we have another bug, just to show you that. Right now somehow the mouse is sticky with this. So we're fixing these bugs, but the amazing thing is what makes SENSU so performant is, as you can see, it immediately adapts to everything. For example, like this, that I can, here we have the bug again, damn it. Come on guys, you can do this. Okay, or not. Let's try it again, here. No? It stays sticky. I think it's connected to this Google thing here, maybe, that I have this bug. Let's try it again. I make it big. No, it sticks to my mouse right now. Okay, you have a bug. Let's go back to SENSU and let's show me here. This is what I love about SENSU the most, is that the visuals they have no limitation on how much I can scale them. They have no limitation on what I can do with them, basically. So we're working on different ways to display them, and it's all very performantly done. So like if you love to look at things, if you love to organize things that are visual, and that includes videos, I will show you how to do that later in another video, you can drag anything in this. It can be pictures, can be Instagram pictures, can be documents. For example, in this case here, I dragged in some video from Bill Gates that I wanted to watch. I just put it on a desktop, and just to show you, see, it looks a little bit weird, like this is way too big here. It's because like the scaling of the video is not adapted yet to the size. It's a bug. And right now I could see, because right now I'm in Germany, the video didn't play because the GEMA probably didn't agree, which is some official capacity that keeps you from watching videos that don't have all the rights. So let's continue a little bit more on the folders here. Here we have like I said, this is the magnify. Again, it allows you to magnify things. It's like picking up a magazine, and you can increase and decrease the size like this, and then scroll through it, left, right. Make sure that when you have this installed, that when you move 2 fingers and you move back and forth between your browser windows, this might affect that. So, but it can also do it up and down, as you can see. It just doesn't work as fast here. So yeah. Here, the second one, it gives you display options. Here we see the grid. Right now what we have here is what I call a mosaic. It looks a little bit like Pinterest, like it has this mosaic tiles that are basically all have the same width, and then the height is adjusted. We will make a lot of more views later on. Then we have the grid. The grid is basically pictures next to pictures. You can change the distance between those pictures. Right now this is here, as you can see. This is an old menu from the start, so like we're gonna change that. But just to show you, I increase the space now between the items, and it shows me the background. The background and the whole window designs is defined by style sheets, can be adjusted. Right now, it's not a good idea to try that yourself. It's a very bad interface. It's just for internally. Later we will allow users, of course, to change all that. So this is now the grid, and then we have the mood board. So the mood board allows you to freely arrange things. as you can see now, it's always the same folder, just in different views. So why on the mood board? Why are the items gone? Because they're not placed yet. So a mood board is kind of like a table. It's like a virtual desk, and you can place things. But these things that are in your folder are not placed yet. So if you didn't define the position yet, it's like you're holding them in your hand still, and your hand is here. You see here, this will be changed, of course, later. This is kind of rudimentary. If you click on this, you see you have 58 items. You can't really increase the size here. And I can drag them out now. I can change them. As you can see here, any corner of these items can be used to scale, which actually makes it quite difficult to access it when it's really small, because this thing is too big. We should switch that off when it's really small, or like only make it on one side. But anyhow, you can change the size of this, and I can drag in several things from here and freely arrange them. And in order to change the positioning, the menu is also not very sophisticated right now. You close this here, and you have a plus with some pretty ugly icons that we didn't exchange yet. And here can change the position. You probably know that already. If I select this one, for example, and I click on this, bring to the front, and you see I can bring an item to the front. Then you have to deselect it. It's not very well done yet. So like of course we will do a lot with the mood boards. The mood boards are an essential part of SENSU because it's how it all started. Basically, you arrange things freely. Of course, you can change the background. You can do that if you click here. This will also change the menu. Here you see some backgrounds. You can change them easily, but you can also make your own backgrounds. Of course, we will change the basic library. For example, if you can see here, I have a lot more because I dragged them in. I'll show you how that works. Just to show you, there's also a transparent background, which is like this one here. If you use a transparent background, then you will see the folder in the background, and there's nothing else. So if you have a transparent folder design, I'm talking a lot here probably right now, like for example here, a transparent folder design. Right now people can't really change that easily, but this is transparent. And if your mood board color is now transparent, then you basically have this image of glass, of floating glass, and you can put items on it. So for example, I take this photo from here, put it here, and now I can move it around. This is pretty cool stuff, I would say. So I'm putting it back, I'm putting it here, and moving around. So for any creative person, you understand how powerful it is to move things around completely freely. For people who are maybe not creative as much, and think of it, that don't do that all day, they don't have walls where they put pictures, think of it as yeah, like your desk. On your desk, like if you see here, what you see here, you freely arrange things and you move them around. You can do the same thing here. It's something that we used to from our graphic user interfaces, but we're not used to on the computer, because normally the computer gives us limitations on what we can do. So in this case, there's none, and it's actually technically quite difficult to do, to program that in a performant manner, especially in a scalable way. But we try to create from the start a really, really good architecture so that we can scale it. And of course, there's challenges, but we're getting there. So this is a first introduction. I want to continue like with the next video. This is video number 1. It was very nice of you guys to watch that, and I will publish that, and I hope they will allow me to publish it, because I have music in the background. Probably I infringed on some copyright. So next video will come along. Thanks very much for watching.